Last night I was outside the Marshall Fields building on Chicago's State Street checking out the new holiday windows at Macy's. As I was contemplating the silver and the garland and the lights of the interior scene, suddenly a group of people came up to me and asked me they said, "Sir, we're doing a survey." They said, "Which is it, caramel or caramel?" I was a little confused for a moment, but then I answered, "It's caramel." And they were very excited and exclaimed that yes, that's the correct answer. And in this one moment I was so pleased and had the simple satisfaction of actually feeling like I was right about something. Sometimes in our daily living and in politics, it's the simplest things that can make all the difference. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. I think at Conservative Coffee Hour each week we're looking for answers and insight into things that help us understand the world a little bit better, especially in the world of partisan politics. In the last few weeks, we've had people from the Libertarian Party, we've had different candidates, and we've had the ongoing conversation about early voting versus voting on election day, and the energy of voting and how to talk about voters leading up to the midterm election. Safe to say there's lots of crazy, zany things going on in the news cycle, and one thing we're mindful of is that we all need to have these political conversations, but more and more the idea of partisan politics really throw a monkey wrench into these conversations. This week at the East Bank Club, my friend Alan Crane rushed up to me and said, "Well, it's going to be a landslide." And I was a little confused by what Alan was trying to tell me, because Alan is a super lib from Highland Park, and he said yes, it's going to be a landslide. All the crazy, zany, fringe people are going to take over our government, and then our whole government and system is going to collapse. And I said, "Now, Alan, you don't believe that." And he said, "Yes." He said, "I know that the Democrat Party has problems, but the Republicans are way worse." And I said, "Alan, well, they've been telling us that for 50 years. In every election cycle, they say that, well, this certain situation or policy or stand might be bad, but those other people are way worse." And Alan said, "Well, those other people are way worse. They're fringe people who were in the Capitol." And I said, "Well, Alan, I don't believe that people who were in the Capitol are actually running for election." And he said, "Yes, they are." As much as I tried to dissuade Alan from that belief, he's pretty insistent that the majority of people running for political office on the Republican side were part of the Capitol riot on January 6th, and now they're running for political office. And Alan is a smart person, and I was kind of surprised that he is taken in by the wild narrative of it all, and that he had given up hope. The only thing that I could leave Alan with was the idea that, well, when it's all said and done, and if there is a red wave and the country goes to hell, he can have the satisfaction of knowing that he was right. He's a superior person who was correct about everything. At Conservative Coffee Hour here, we're not trying to be correct about everything or be superior or other anybody. We're simply trying to navigate and have an adult conversation about where we all are in this country, where we're going together, and how we can navigate it in a more sane and humane and more loving way. This Saturday, I believe we're going to have Larry Garrett, who's actually a hypnotist by trade, but in all of our conversations we found that insight comes from many diverse viewpoints. In the last couple of weeks, Anya Gramone in the Awake Hour has been sharing with us the idea of our shadow selves, and she recently directed me to a podcaster, Carolyn Elliott, who speaks about our shadow self and connecting with that and looking at it, and even that person who's basically a self-help guru for self-actualization, even she pointed out that we live in a world where the constant news cycle is all negative and fear. And then on top of it, we have the authoritarian government looming over us. Carolyn said that fear is a huge tool for authoritarianism and enslavement of people. And people who are gripped by fear are the most likely to lose their freedom. I think these are cautionary words from an unlikely source, Carolyn Elliott, but they're important words we all need to hear. We need to not be gripped by fear, especially when it's not even our fear, it's the fear of the opposing political party. If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour is every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.